Hello, and welcome to a brand new day of free-to-play here on Magic the Gathering Arena. Get the dish on the latest with me, Lord Rumfish. I got a quick video for you today. And, in my intro, every time on this channel, at least, since I worked out what I wanted my intro to be, I have been saying free-to-play. And I want you to know that, A, that's for real. I've spent a grand total of $20 on this account ever. And that was for of the two little welcome bundles, the $5 welcome bundle and then the $15 one that gives you a bunch of gems and the City of Brass sleeve and stuff. That's all the money I've ever paid to play on this account. And any other account I've ever started was strictly free to play. I paid no money at all. So how do you do a free-to-play account? And is it best to play more limited or more constructed? Is it better to open packs or to open them in a limited pool? Well, first things first. Let's talk about a couple of things you're going to run into on a free-to-play account. So here on the Profile tab, you can head to Set Collection, and this shows you how much of each set that you've completed. Now, you don't have to start, getting to the gold bar and the mythic bar and stuff in order to have a pretty good set completion. Like where this blue bar on March of the Machine says it's 98%. The blue bar indicates how many single copies you have. This is of rares. Right, so there are 5 rares that I don't have a copy of. Once you've totally filled in the blue bar, then it will start showing you how many you have a set of 4 of, a play set. And that's the gold bar. You can see that the commons, uncommons, and even the mythics, I've got a lot of 4-ofs. I probably do for the rares as well, but since this bar isn't filled out, you can't see that. And colorless is almost completely filled out. Now, getting a full, complete collection of every rare and mythic to 4 copies is, unless you love Limited and you play the absolute heck out of the game at all hours of the day and night, I don't think you're going to hit a playset of all the rares and mythics on a free-to-play account. And in fact, even if you were paying to do it, it would cost a lot of money. Really. To try to totally fill out your collection that way. Now, I would say most people don't feel the need to play with every single rare and mythic in full 4 copies. So getting this filled out is more like a completionist collector kind of a thing. It's a different desire than just wanting to play the game. If what you want to do is play the game, then these sets and how much I have them filled out has been ample. It's been definitely enough for me to play the game and enjoy it. And you can see that I fill them out pretty well, free to play. This most recent start into Standard here when I got back was around, Midnight Hunt, Crimson Vow. So, every set I've been playing in this Standard, like 96, 99, 98. Streets of New Capenna went into the gold bar. Dominar United, 98. 98 for Brothers War. 93 for Phyrexia All Will Be One. 98 for March of the Machine. Went into the gold bar for Aftermath. Went into the gold bar for Wilds of Eldraine. 96% for Lost Caverns of Ixalan. You can really have a good collection that's plenty of cards to play with, just doing free to play. So the next question is, should you be playing limited or constructed if you're a free to play account? And first of all, if you're new, if you're watching this and you're pretty new to Arena, you're just thinking about starting Arena, the format that you should be looking at is not either of those. It's this one called Jumpin. So Jumpin, you pick two different packets, and the cards in the packets get added to your collection. It'll start you with like 5 free tokens for 5 free jump-ins, but even after you've used those up, it's only 1,000 gold to enter, which is the same as the price of a booster pack. For that price, you're going to get 20-odd cards, maybe more with some like tap lands and stuff. You'll get 2 rares, right, which is double what you would get in a booster pack. You're going to get somewhere between like 4 to 7 uncommons, somewhere in there, maybe 8. You're going to get a bunch of commons. You're going to get cards that are staples in some cases. Not just garbage cards, but really good staple effects in the commons and uncommons. And Jumpin is therefore a great way to fill out your collection at a reduced price compared to anything else you might be doing. You get more rares, you get more cards total, and playing at least for 1 win in Jumpin means that you're going to get a card reward just for playing the Jumpin game. And if you're really new and you aren't comfortable with deck building and stuff yet, you can use Jumpin as a way to complete your daily quests. So, if you're building a collection for the first time, Jumpin is easily, far and away, the best way to do that. Now, after you've played, somewhere between like 25 to 50 games of Jumpin, where you're starting to see repeat packets come up more and more often, and then you're not getting quite as much bang for your buck doing Jumpin, then, that leads to the question of should you be playing limited or constructed. Now, the easy answer, the cop-out answer, is you should play whatever brings you joy. But I'd like to answer it a little bit more clearly than that. So there's a couple of ways to play limited. A draft means that you will open up 3 booster packs one at a time, right? You open the first one, pick the card that you want, then you will pass it to the player to your right. So the player to your left will have passed you a pack, and then you'll pick the next card out of that pack that you want for your deck. And you get to keep all these cards, they're added to your collection. So, taking a good rare or mythic that you really, really want, that can be a thing. And often you can work those rares and mythics into the final deck that you build. It's good to try to build a cohesive deck, though. And I've got a lot of videos on Limited on this channel that can help you learn some of the ways to evaluate cards and build a good Limited deck. Now, for the Premier draft, like this one, my face is covering it, but it costs 10,000 gold to enter a Premier draft, or 1,500 gems. It's a slight discount on gems in that regard. And you always win something just for entering the cards you draft. Plus, if you can't win a single game, you'll still get some gems and a pack of cards. That's not ideal. Obviously, winning more gets you more prizes. And limited drafts are one of the ways that you convert your gold into gems, because it's hard to get gems on a free-to-play account. And one of the reasons that you want gems is to unlock the Mastery Pass. So, the Mastery Pass, you find it here on the bottom right. There is a free track with free rewards. But you can unlock this bottom row that has a lot more rewards. They cost 3,400 gems in every season that I've seen to unlock the Mastery Pass. and it's well worth it. You get so much value out of this bottom track as long as you're going to play the game enough to get into, like, you know, the mid 40s or 50s at least before the season ends. Really, one of the best things that you get is right here, a player draft token. This lets you enter a premier draft, which means this token is worth 10,000 gold. And that by itself, once you've hit level 15 on this pass, you've gotten most of the value back. And then, there's a few more big things you hit pretty early on, 1,000 gold, 300 gems. Before you know it, it's paid for itself. The 3,400 gems that you put in, you've gotten that much value back out of it pretty early on, before the halfway point on the whole track. And this is part of why you play limited on a free-to-play account, is to get gems so that you can unlock the Mastery Pass and get all of these rewards that you get just for playing the game and earning experience from daily quests and weekly wins and stuff like that. This one goes to level 90. It varies a little bit from season to season, depending on how long the season's going to be. Up towards the very top end, there will be like a special card sleeve that you get. And eventually when you hit the very top, past that level, you start getting uncommon card rewards, which can randomly upgrade at a 5% chance to a rare or a mythic rare. Which, is not a big deal if you get past the top level, but it's not nothing. You're still getting something for having gone past the peak. So again, Premier Draft costs 10,000 gold to enter or 1,500 gems. If you're good at Limited, if you feel pretty confident in your ability, the rewards are better in a Premier Draft than they are in a Quick Draft. In a Premier Draft, you are timed, where you are playing against other players who are picking cards out of the packs with you. And then you'll build a deck. Building the deck has no time limit. And then you'll go and play best of 1 games in Premier. There's also a traditional draft where you play best of 3. If you want to do that method instead, it costs the same price. And once you get up to about 4 to 5 wins on average, you start paying for the draft to where you could go infinite, where one pays for the next one, pays for the next one, and even if you can't quite go infinite where you keep paying for the next one, you get a lot of cards that way for not much money, if you're good at drafting. Right, because 1,500 gems gets you entry, and 4 wins gets 1,400, 5 wins gets 1,600. So if you're right in the middle between 4 and 5 wins, then you can play as much draft as you want and get all the cards of the set. But what if you're not that good at drafting? What if you need experience? What if you need practice? Well, there's this thing called Quick Draft. And you can't see it because my face is hiding it, but it costs 5,000 gold to enter, or 750 gems, which is half of what it costs for a Premier Draft. And it's even better for practicing because you're picking cards against the AI, and that means it is not timed. You have all the time in the world to think about what cards you want to pick to build your draft, to make your draft deck, and then eventually you'll play against other players who also did a quick draft. And these are best of 1. The rewards are not as generous as they are in the Premier Draft, but you can play 2 quick drafts for the price of 1 Premier Draft. And again, you'll add all the cards to your collection and keep them. So, Quick Draft is better if you don't have as much money and you're not as confident. And by money, I mean gold. Right? I'm not suggesting that you buy gems to do this. I'm talking about free-to-play today. But if you don't have as much gold and you're not as confident in your ability to win in a draft in a limited environment, then Quick Draft gives you twice the experience, and you add the cards that you take from both of your Quick Drafts to your collection, which, if you're not as good at limited, could be a lot more cards than a Premier Draft would net you. You still get something, even if you just lose. So, in that regard, Quick Drafts are more forgiving. In order to go infinite in a Quick Draft, though, 5 wins gets you 650 gems, and it's 750 to enter. 6 wins gets you 850 gems. So you have to average a little better than 5 wins in a Quick Draft to go infinite. So, if you're good at limited, good enough to be getting 4 or 5 wins, before you get 3 losses, then you should be playing Premier Draft. The rewards are better, and it's easier to go infinite. If you are looking for more draft experience, or you're trying to get cards from a particular set that's not available in the Premier Draft, then you can go to the Quick Draft. And, it's not timed, it's a nice, laid-back experience. More easygoing. And both Quick Drafts and Premier Drafts are a great way to build your collection and to get gems so you can unlock the Mastery Pass. What about Constructed? It's hard to get the collection with Constructed. If you're following along and you play the Jumpin, and then once you have enough Jumpin, you start switching over to like Premier Drafts, Quick Drafts. At some point, you're going to have a pretty decent collection. And sometimes you're not going to have the money to play in one of these events. And by money, I mean gold. Right? Sometimes, if you're not that experienced at it, you'll run out of gold and gems. And then you just need to play something in order to do your daily wins, your daily quests, and your weekly wins. Now for that, you don't have to play in an event. It doesn't cost you any money just to hop in and play like standard ranked best of 1. You can also play best of 3 by flipping this little thing. I prefer best of 1, it's kind of a easier experience with Arena. It's also a fun deck building challenge, I find, to try to make something that can take on anyone without sideboarding. So this doesn't cost you money, and you do get some rewards for going up this track. It has diminishing returns for sure. After you've made it to Platinum, it's not necessarily worth your time to try to get to Diamond and Mythic. The rewards just don't really pay off for the number of games you have to play. But it's still something you can do for fun, and it's something you can do to get your daily wins and your quests and such in. Now there are standard events. You can see them down here at the bottom of the list. Both best of 1 and traditional, which is best of 3. If you opt to do this, the entry fee is only 2,500 gold or 375 gems. And this would be if you're pretty confident in your ability to win in, standard format. If you are, you can get some gem rewards. Can go all the way up to some play-in points at 7 wins, which those can help you qualify for like major tournament events and such on Arena. If you want to play in standard events and such, that's up to you. It is another way that you can try to earn gems. There's an alternative that you can take now to progress in a different way, which is to take the gold you get from your daily wins and events that you play and such, and you buy packs, because now buying packs is not as crazy, because every 10 packs you buy, of certain sets, you get a golden pack. At the moment, it would have to be Khans of Tarkir, Alchemy Ixalan, and the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. So if you're interested in playing Standard, that would just be Lost Caverns of Ixalan. So buy 10 packs of it. I believe Mythic packs also qualify for getting you a golden pack. Yeah, buy 10 packs, you get a golden pack. The golden pack contains 6 rares. Each have a normal chance to upgrade to a mythic rare, and I believe 2 of them always come from the most recent standard set. So this is a pretty reasonable way to enhance your collection now, because opening packs also gets you wildcards off of not just out of the booster packs, but on the wildcard track. So, up here in the upper right, every 6 packs you open will get you an uncommon wildcard and a rare or mythic. Normally it's rare up here. I think about every 30 packs it switches over to a mythic wildcard, then it goes back to rare wildcards. So, between getting wildcards out of the booster packs and wildcards off of the track up here, and then the golden pack that it's giving out, you have a pretty good way to fill out your collection if you don't want to play limited. And you can play in the standard events and such if you want to find a way to get gems where you don't have to play limited. So the long answer is, you can do it either way. Really and truly. You don't have to play the way that I do. I enjoy limited and I enjoy constructed both. Oh, and your excess commons and uncommons turn into vault progress and gets you more wildcards. Your excess rares and mythics change into gems, just straight up. 20 gems for a rare, 40 gems for a mythic in excess of 4 copies. So you can do it either way. If you're interested in ever hitting up the tournament scene, then tournaments change what format they play in. And you need a little bit of experience with a number of different formats if you're going to play in a tournament. Right, you might go to a tournament and it's standard, and then when it cuts to the top 8 out of that standard tournament, maybe it goes to a draft, and that's how they determine the winner. Or you might show up to an event and it is a sealed event, and then you need to know how to put together a good sealed pool, another limited format, win in the sealed pool, and then the top 8 might cut to a draft, or the top 8 might cut to the standard decks. It's very skill testing to go into tournament play. So if you want to stay sharp, just stay in practice, then I think it's, useful to just try a variety of things. Just kind of stay in touch with the formats. Don't give yourself a free pass on anything or let something fade away to where you don't have it developed as a skill. There's not a wrong answer for how you want to play the game. Right? If you have the money, I'm not going to snub you. Right? If you have the money and you don't have the time to play the game, then yeah, absolutely. Go buy the wild cards, buy the packs, have a blast. You can just put together the deck you want to put together and just play the game. I enjoy the grind. I have the time, to some extent. So I enjoy doing it free to play. Saves me a lot of money, and I just enjoy the sense of accomplishment that comes with being free to play. So that's pretty much everything I had to say for this one. We're going to be seeing Murders at Karlov Manor releasing soon. So come back to the channel and I will be doing some drafts. I will be doing a deck building toolbox series for the new cards that have come out. And eventually I'll be, shuffling together some new standard brews. Some of the cards from the new set I'm very excited to throw into some decks and see what happens. Until then, just like and subscribe and check out my other videos. And never stop honing your critical thinking and empathy.